legs on a analyst desk for FIFA. So, I mean, it's new for all of us, but yeah, we are ready for our next game. And Dan, I think this is a real mixing of the generations, isn't it? You have Msdossary, so much history, so many championships under his belt against a new player that's coming to the scene and really has taken the scene by storm.
2 Masters as well from the previous tournament. Of course, the winner from Atlanta, and what I mean by Masters, if you finish within the top 4 in your console, you're automatically invited to the next tournament. And that's also what they're playing for here. They're playing for that semi-final spot. They're playing for the chance to go to FUT Champions Cup number 5. And it is going to be a case of who shows up here, because we've seen both of them perform extremely well through the Swiss stage. They look really strong in their round of 16. And when you look at 2 players like this, you're saying, well, why are they facing in the quarterfinals? And it's just because there have been people who perform better than them in the Swiss stage, people that went 5-0, for example. Therefore, the seeding matches them together. And it is going to be a real test of who can actually show up when it matters.
So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It is a case of who can show up in the big games. And there isn't too many bigger games than a quarter-final out of FUT Champions Cup. Stage 4 here in Paris. Ollelito, the champion. Last time, we were all lucky enough to get together and see the best in the world fight it out against a man who has so much history at such a young age still. It is, of course, Msdossary.
Ollelito, who started the tournament with a 5-0 loss, but then came back, went 4-1 in Swiss, and then we saw him defeat Mr. Dunn 2-1 in his round of 16 tie. 20 goals for him in those 6 matchups, 12 conceded, so a pretty decent record, +8 as it stands. Does include an 8-2 victory over Gorilla, though, which might be slightly inflated. As we heard from Gorilla during an interview, his head kind of wasn't there for that final round of Swiss. On the other side, for Msdossary, 22 goals scored, 11 conceded. He beat Diogo 4-2 in his round of 16 game. We joined the late stages of that one. But it is going to be a battle here in the midfield. Ollelito more than happy to dominate possession and keep the ball away from Msdossary.
And 2 players who certainly have huge followings as far as their nationality are concerned. Saudi Arabia absolutely love Msdossary. Such an iconic figure. And cuts in the FIFA scene and back home. And Ollelito just finding his way at the moment in the FIFA scene, but you saw the reaction of the Swedish community, the likes of Boras legend. Really turning out after that huge win back in Atlanta. And now he's got to do some defensive work as Giddy Young does manage to win that ball back.
The Saudi Arabian community as well, I mean, they would have just watched Mr. Dunn lose to Ollelito. And now they'll be hoping that it could be a change here for Msdossary to get a little bit of revenge for the fellow man.
There was a mistake there momentarily from Ollelito. Good player switch from Msdossary, putting pressure on to win the ball back, but it didn't turn into a clear strike that troubled the goalkeeper. And now Ollelito on the edge of the box, Ruud Gullit. Simple ball roll. Eusebio now dropping deep, tries to turn it around the corner to R9, well defended by Dossary.
And I feel like Ollelito has a point to prove at this tournament. He was, some would say, an outsider to win a FUT Champions Cup in Atlanta. When you look at the names of who's on that trophy, we've seen it won by Dossary so many times. We've seen it won by Tech so many times. Dossary's won it 3 times, to be specific. Dolan Mike maybe was the only outsider in FIFA 19 who managed to win it, but he went on to perform well at other tournaments, so somewhat justified his lifting of the trophy. And I feel like Ollelito wants to do the same here, and a victory over Msdossary, I feel like justifies it enough for me.
Any victory over Msdossary is always one to remember. Always lives long in the memory, as there's a mistake here from Dossary! And Allison has to jump into action and does so. But almost a lapse in concentration there from the Saudi Arabian, gifting the first goal of the game to Ollelito.
You'd expect R9 to be doing a lot better from there, but maybe slightly snatched at it when you get the chance. You've got to praise the goalkeeper and Allison just keeping this at 0-0, but Dossary does have to be extremely careful giving the ball away from the back like that, but straight back into just passing it around, dominating the game. Does have the switch back to the fullback if he requires it, but instead he's going to try and penetrate through the middle.
Well, one thing I love about watching Dossary play is he's always passing the ball, always looking for just a couple of touches before moving the ball on, moving that ball forwards. looking to be aggressive on goal and pass his way through his opponent's back line. And Msdossary maybe not had the success at the start of the year that he would like. He obviously turns up at every single tournament expecting to win and wanting to win. But it's this time of year, Dan, like I mentioned a little bit earlier, where Msdossary really does start to come good.
Yeah, I mean, he is still a master from the last tournament in Atlanta. He did get to the semi-finals where he lost out to Diogo. He's just got his revenge in the previous round of 16 game. And now it would be a big statement from him, to be honest, if he were to then beat the champion from Atlanta here in this quarter-final. People might start talking about Msdossary lifting potentially another FUT Champions Cup in another FIFA title. To win a FUT Champions Cup in FIFA 18, 19 and then 20 really would just demonstrate the skill that this man possesses.
The back heel almost found its way through to Johan Cruyff there, but again, Ollelito defending extremely well. At the moment, I'm not seeing either player employing overload ball side at the moment, so we've got a kind of straight like-for-like match-up, if you like. R9 now finds the ball out to Mbappe. Careful, patient build-up here from Ollelito, which served him so well back in Atlanta, before finally now releasing Cristiano Ronaldo down this left-hand side. Goes back to Robertson. Robertson now bursting through towards goal. Eusebio takes over. Eusebio maybe just waiting for that run of R9. Instead, it's Ruud Gullit who gets used. Gets dispossessed, just crowded out in that situation.
Yeah, good defending though from Msdossary. Almost encouraging the drag back from Ollelito, just placing his centre-back in the right position, saying, look, if you're going to go for a drag back, I'm taking this ball off you, so you can only go one way. You have to go backwards, up the pitch. And in the end, moves his central defensive midfielders to make the interception as well. One last attack for Msdossary in this half.
And there is space here for Kylian Mbappe to attack as well, and Ruud Gullit's trying to get there to cover that space. He did just enough, and Msdossary will be disappointed in that situation to get into such an advanced area of the pitch and not at least create some defensive worries for Ollelito.
It was one of those where you've already decided you're going to go for the drag back right on the edge.
Well, here's Johan Cruyff, and maybe there's time here. We're well over the allotted time. And finally, the referee will bring the half to a close. 45 minutes gone here, no goals to report.
Yeah, quite an even matchup, really. Both have had the possibilities of getting in behind. Both have had plenty of room to spread the play to either wing. A couple of small mistakes, passes here or there that you can't really put down to user input necessarily. Just one of those ones where if the players are off balance, sometimes it can go wayward. Just the one shot apiece as well. And I'm sure both players will want to liven this up a little bit going into the second half. Msdossary looks comfortable though. Aside from that little one pass in his box, I'd say he looks like he's not worried about the situation, which is what we should really be expecting from a world champion.
I mean, look at the results in the previous round for Msdossary. You know, he took down Diogo, such a talented player who we've talked about, and we keep lauding and saying that he's got such a bright future ahead of him. Msdossary beat him 4-2, and Msdossary's kind of quietly got, both of these players kind of quietly gone about their business here. FUT Champs Cup Stage 4. We haven't been ranting and raving about what we've seen from them because we haven't seen too much of them on the broadcast, but as I say, quietly gone about their business, done what needed to be done, and taken down some notable players along the way.
Yeah, it's because we focus on the elimination games, and neither of these players faced an elimination game during the Swiss phase. Both of them were at 2-1 and then went to 3-1 before actually going for 4 wins and 1 loss in Swiss. Both capable of going 5-0, and we've seen Msdossary do it many a time before.
Well, it's going to be Msdossary here who can break the deadlock. One shot apiece in that first half. No goals to report still, as you can see. Pele now with the ball roll back inside. Ollelito trying to get across to cover it. It's Virgil van Dijk who steps out. Now that familiar switch out to the fullback, just looking for any kind of space to move forward. R9 running the channels, but there's Matthijs de Ligt to say, you go no further, son.
Yeah, surprisingly called back for a foul. But de Ligt just showing his strength, showing his power, showing why he is included in so many of these teams at centre-back, despite the fact we've now had prime icon moments, centre-backs added, like Rio Ferdinand and Maldini.
Great ball in from Ollelito. And almost managed to get in front of Virgil van Dijk. He did actually get in front of him, but the defender did enough to make sure that that strike wasn't want to trouble the goalkeeper.
And the further we get into this tournament and the further we get into this current meta, the more we are seeing people trying to target Cristiano Ronaldo with headers, with volleys. We can put some of that down to the sheer ability of Team of the Year Ronaldo, but we can also put a lot of it down to the fact that in the current state of the game and how defending is just far too overpowered, you have to try and create chances elsewhere.
Frankie de Jong steps in. As that cutback looked like it could have created an opportunity for Msdossary. You can see again switching immediately across to that wide cam to try and cut down that cross-field pass. That's definitely a tactic that Msdossary has been employing in this game. As soon as he sees the player shaping up to switch the play, he immediately trying to read the game and switch that wide cam to cut it off before the ball lands.
And again, it's just because the midfield and the defense are so compact in the mid that you have to spread the play, you have to go out wide. So it's why we so often see it switch from right back to left back, or vice versa.
Msdossary now inside the box, beautiful little ball around the corner, and de Jong managed to get there just before the defender and diverted the ball towards goal, but Alisson was close enough to make sure it wasn't too dangerous. Managed to get down and make a comfortable save, but Msdossary now starting to just turn the screw a little bit in this one, Dan.
It looked like he got more of Alisson than the ball. That would have been a dangerous one in real life.
Well, here's Frankie de Jong, can't quite get past his countryman there in Virgil van Dijk.
But again, Ollelito just having to build from the back. You can see by the kind of offensive line that has been put up by Msdossary that Ollelito has to first get past all the attackers before he can even think about getting up to the midfield and trying to get into the final third.
Well, it's approaching the final third here.
You can see offside trap as well, constantly used by Msdossary, something he tries to add into his game in.
Ball around the corner here, Eusebio.
Every single tournament we see offside trap, offside trap, offside trap. One of the best at using it. Very rarely does he get it wrong.
Ollelito almost managed to break through there as Msdossary looks to just lift the ball over that back line. Unfortunately, couldn't quite execute the pass that he was looking for.
Tries to find Cristiano Ronaldo on the left-hand side, but have to be careful sometimes with these kicks from the goalie.
Nice quick pass in here from Msdossary. This is where he's starting to warm up a little bit here, Msdossary. As soon as he starts finding those triangles, finding that link-up play, it could be so deadly. Hold it now, back to Cruyff! Deadlock broken, and it's classic Msdossary.
There was a little bump off the defender, which I'm sure Ollelito wouldn't have expected, and it's what made it difficult for him to quickly switch to one of the other defenders and try and track the runs from Msdossary. But usually that's what separates the best from just good players, is those who can react quickly, who can defend even when there is a little bobble that doesn't go your way. Msdossary takes full advantage of that, and now will gain the lead, and Ollelito is going to have to try and do something else here to get back in the game.
It's just that injection of pace that Msdossary has. As soon as he gets sort of 25 yards from goal in central areas, he has the ability to just exchange those quick passes, to put pressure onto the defenders and put pressure on your defensive switching as a defender as well. You have to be alert, you have to be perfect in order to make those standing tackles and close down that space. And if you get it ever so slightly wrong, then you find yourself in all sorts of trouble. And Msdossary here just reminding us of how good he is against our Atlanta champion. 1-0 to the Saudi Arabian.
Yeah, he is just one of those players that very good at capitalizing off others' mistakes, because yes, it's about reacting if you make the mistake, but also you have to be proactive if your opponent makes the mistake, and that's something Msdossary does so successfully.
Well, here comes Ollelito then, and here goes Johan Cruyff. He's managed to stretch the defense here a little bit. It's got a 4v4 situation. If he can find the right pass here, a real opportunity to find an equalizer there for the Swede, but Virgil van Dijk again, the ever-present, makes it look a lot easier than maybe some other players would have made it look.
It was the defensive positioning from Msdossary to cover multiple angles with his defender. Ollelito often in that situation probably would have gone for maybe a fake shot stop and then a pass across. Didn't really know when to cut inside because of the way Msdossary was covering those angles. And by the time he had cut inside and tried to play the through ball, there was already enough men back to stop any sort of run. So really well played from Msdossary again.
Well read though by Ollelito, and you can see Mane continuing his run. Well covered though by Msdossary, utilising that central defensive midfielder there, Ollelito, to fill in the space where it was required, and that little square ball just under hit. Into the 90th minute then. Msdossary with the 1-goal advantage.
The referee has indicated there will be a minimum.
I think it's Msdossary again, who might be looking to double his lead now as he plays that ball over the top to Kylian Mbappe, the Frenchman. Cannot get past the attentions though of Carlos Alberto. And there might be time here for Ollelito to at least trouble Matthijs de Ligt, who deals with the ball. Alisson will send that one out, and Msdossary will send it out of play and take his 1-goal advantage into the second leg.
Yeah, there wasn't really enough time to get a final attack there. That's why he's gone for the lumped through ball over the top. Maybe 1 in 20, R9 might be able to steal that away from de Ligt, but you'd expect him to be able to cover it. You can see Lev Vinken with Msdossary there, coaching him. Hasn't been the best season for Lev Vinken. Hasn't really been a season at all, he would tell you. But a great player to have in your corner to give you advice. And I'm sure we'll see him at tournaments in the future.
And you can see the vote that's gone down there, the poll, and who you guys at home think is going to win this game. A lot of support for Msdossary, no surprise to see that. As we see some of the opportunities maybe from that first game, players looking through the replays, looking through how maybe they could have defended a little bit better. This is something that we don't get to see too often, and also one of those tools that players can use to make little adjustments from game to game, Dan.
It's how it should be used. It's how players should be saying, all right, well, this is what I've done wrong. But usually it's used in a way of, oh, I could have, there's nothing else I could have done in this point. Ollelito's looked at that replay and said, I've blocked this. I feel like I've cut that passing lane, but my defender hasn't done well enough. It's okay to do that when you're playing your weekend league, but I feel like in a tournament, you're just going to put yourself in a bad mindset going into leg number 2. If you're then saying, oh, well, I couldn't have done anything. But again, it all comes down to how your personal mentality. If he looks at that and says, I don't feel like I could have done anything better, as long as he thinks going into leg number 2, I am playing at my best, and I feel like as long as that doesn't happen again, I will be able to get back into the game, it's fine. But if he starts thinking all the bad thoughts, which so many players do, then that's when you start to beat yourself up a little bit too much.
And the longer the game goes on as well, and the longer that you see that name Msdossary in the top corner, the more imposing he looks as a figure. If you're chasing the game against a player like him, it's so difficult. And I would say not because of the fact that when you're chasing the game in FIFA 20, we talk about generally how it is difficult if you go 1 goal down to find your way back into the game. Against Msdossary, the fear for me is as soon as you start chasing the game, you leave yourself open to conceding. You could go 2 down, 3 down. He is that deadly at turning defensive play into attacking.
Yeah, that's exactly what Msdossary wants. He wants to get that first goal, so you open up, you come out of your shell a little bit, and then he can start to hit you every single time he gets the ball.
What a ball that is as well from Msdossary. And Ollelito, little adjustment on the haircut and almost finds the adjustments needed to find that ball inside. Went for the little double tap to get that lofted cutback. But Msdossary straight away here, putting Ollelito under even more pressure than he's probably feeling at the start of this half.
And I think we would see more goals in FIFA 20 if cutbacks were just slightly improved. Because the amount of times we see space like that and what looks like a simple pass to be made doesn't end up with a goal. Msdossary may feel hard done by that. Fantastic chance created in a game of very little chances so far.
Oh, beautiful little drag back there from Zambrotta, and it's opened up all sorts of space here. Ollelito on the back foot, heel to heel from Cristiano Ronaldo, who almost gets the rub of the green as well as the ball almost dropped back to the man from the Serie A. And now Carlos Alberto for Ollelito opens up his legs and starts to attack on this right-hand side.
Pressure still being applied, though, by Msdossary, and you can see how he switches from centre-back to central defensive midfielder, back and forth, covering every angle.
R9, though, has found a little pocket of space inside the box, and tests Alisson down at his near post, but the Brazilian equal to the challenge. Corner to Msdossary. Dealt with by Msdossary, but only momentarily as Eusebio picks up the pieces. Here's Cristiano Ronaldo, elastico, but straight into the range of Ollelito to make that tackle.
And he may have tested the goalkeeper, but I think that's all it ever was going to be. With that kind of shot, sometimes R9 can put them away. But as long as there's a subtle amount of goalkeeper movement, you should be safe.
And this game really has opened up. at the start of this second leg. Heel to heel again, having a little bit of success with that skill move, Msdossary. And now coming forward again, Cristiano Ronaldo. Quick passing, interchanging, so difficult to mark as Johan Cruyff found just a little bit of space on the turn, but the shot not good enough to hit the target there from Msdossary.
Again, another half chance, but still beautiful football being played by Msdossary. Very free-flowing when he goes forward, or flea-flowing, however you want to look at it.
Now Ollelito though, and what a switch that was from Msdossary. Such an I think we don't speak about enough is defensive switching of players. He's going to have to be on his toes again here. Just reading the play and switching almost away from the most active player to the player who's secondary in the phase, to read ahead of the game and make sure you're in position to make an interception.
He's just one of the most complete FIFA players, is Msdossary. He has a little bit of everything about him. And whether it is just using the offside trap and stepping up, or whether it's him going forward and playing a pass and move style, he always looks threatening and dangerous to his opponent in every area of the pitch.
Well, De Ligt and De Jong working together to find Johan Cruyff, three Dutchmen from different generations, all linking together here for Msdossary to try and double his lead. But for all the good play here from Msdossary, you have to say Ollelito still very much in this game down. We saw it in the Gorilla versus Nicolas Razek game. Gorilla kind of dominated the pace of the game, the attacks in the game, and it was only down to the spot after Nicolas Razek just got that one chance and was able to put it away.
It was only a post away, really, from being a victory for Nicolas Razek.
Oh, no! And there is that one chance! One goal! And the Atlanta champion has tied up the game.
If you can get that kind of space with R9, the keeper is just going to have no chance. Maybe you've got to commit one way with the goalkeeper movement. You can see, actually, Msdossary tried to shift near post. But prime moments, R9 is too good. Smashes it home, and we are tied up.
It's just that physicality mixed in with that pace and power, as well as the finishing ability. The scoop turn becomes such a deadly weapon, even against some of the best centre-backs in the game. Just finds that space. The five-star weak foot again, proving to be absolutely vital. Smashes it in the near post, and it is that one chance we were talking about for Ollelito. When it came down, he had the focus to take it.
I think he would have been confident in his own ability. His goal-scoring record has been good this tournament. There are goals in him.
Here comes Msdossary again, though. Dragged back here from Cristiano Ronaldo. Not quite good enough.
That can be the difference between a drag back or a scoop turn. Even though he hit the drag back successfully there, it wasn't necessarily good enough to beat the man. If you can hit that scoop turn right, it doesn't matter how good of a player you are, how good of a defender you are, it's just so difficult to keep up with.
Well, Ollelito then growing in confidence a little bit after that equaliser, and understandably so. Yellow card will be shown here to Pele on the side of Msdossary.
You got to remember there's always extra pressures at tournaments that maybe won't be on the surface level, but Ollelito now representing Ninjas in Pyjamas, a huge organisation in the esports scene. After moving over from Team Hullet, but Team Hullet still involved in the process, still coaching him at this tournament. A massive thing for FIFA in general as well. I mean, when we look at the esports kits that are added to the game, perhaps next year, maybe even this year, we might see a Ninjas in Pyjamas kit, you never know. But bigger and bigger organizations getting involved is great.
And you can see the confidence just starting to grow here in Ollelito. The Elastico through two might create the opportunity to make it two. But it's only a last-ditch block here from Msdossary that keeps this game tied up at 1-1.
And even though we're building this as Msdossary being the favourite because of his history, if we look at the Global Series rankings, Ollelito is the favourite. He is the current champion of FUT Champions Cups. And not only are they playing for pride, they're playing for that next spot in FUT Champions Cup. Stage 5. $7,500 for the winner of this game as well.
On the stroke of half-time here in the second leg, maybe it'll be Msdossary who can restore the lead that he found. Huge chance! What a save!
I think you have to do better there. Maybe go near post.
I'm giving credit to the goalkeeper there. I do agree with you, though. cross goal in that situation. I think Msdossary just thought he created enough space for him to put it anywhere, and it was going to go in.
With a player with a finesse trait, maybe a Messi on his left foot, I think you can bend that one in.
It's Ollelito, almost finds the run of Johan Cruyff, the vision of Msdossary.
But there was more time, I think, than Msdossary thought. But sometimes this is the thing, when you're in that situation and you've got that much space, you trust in Team of the Year Ronaldo to put that away. It shouldn't matter whether it's right or left of the goalkeeper. But then when you go back and you look at the replay, you start to realize, okay, maybe I had that extra half a second where I could have considered going the other way. I could have considered not finessing it or finessing it, depending on what you've gone for.
So half-time here, 45 minutes left in this tie before we again head to potentially extra time or penalties. Nothing to separate the two players, and fascinating to see there, Ollelito, even though he's barely had the ball, 33%, just a third of the ball in his possession. He's been the player in this game that's been able to create the most chances with it, Dan.
And as well as the $7,500 on the line for whoever wins this game, there's also 800 Global Series ranking points as well. It would take Ollelito above the 3,000 threshold. More than enough to guarantee himself at the E-World Cup. I imagine he's already got that from his performance already in the last two tournaments. Msdossary currently in 8th on 1,720. Again, even if he were to go out here, I think he's got enough for the World Cup.
Msdossary is never happy with just enough. He wants wins, he wants championships, he wants legacy. But for Ollelito, he's at the other end of the story at the moment. A little two-touch spin back inside, away from the defender. Has created an opportunity for him, and it's Mbappe who takes it early, gets a little bit of luck as it falls back to him. Pull it now. Again, a little two-touch spin back inside. Not good enough this time to find the player who was just loitering on the edge of that 18-yard box.
So many times that would have been a goal for players where a defender would have started panicking when it's taking a couple of deflections here or there off of defenders, but Msdossary stayed focused, watching every move, trying to predict skill moves as best as possible.
Seems like both players at the moment, every single time that they go forward, look likely to score. Here's Cristiano Ronaldo. Gets the ball back, beautiful exchange of passing again, and Frankie de Jong is literally just a millisecond away from being able to play that ball wide and find a man out in space. Msdossary, though, keeps up the pressure. Frankie de Jong. Msdossary again, looking threatening. Cristiano Ronaldo with the drag back, and Msdossary takes the lead here in Paris. It was patience personified.
All game, Msdossary's been trying that drag back, tried to bait Ollelito in time and time again, and finally he hits him where it hurts. And this time, Cristiano Ronaldo absolutely buries it in the top corner. One of my favourite shots in FIFA 20, just smashing it with the outside of the boot, left of the goalkeeper. And Ollelito is going to have to try and get back into this game once again, but there's not as much time remaining. The pause will be made and a chance to make some changes for both players, not just Ollelito, but Msdossary can also bring on some fresh legs and also look to tighten up his defence.
And the beauty of this game that we're watching right now is the fact that Ollelito's not going to feel out of this at all. It's not one of those games where it's been kind of a dead game. There's not been many opportunities, not been many chances. Every time both these players have gone forward, there has been opportunities to score, to create genuine goal-scoring opportunities. And Ollelito, from that first half of the second leg as well, has shown that he can do that. The question is now, with Msdossary in the lead in this position, can he unlock that door one more time?
Both players are being very creative in the final third as well and trying to be unpredictable, trying not to be too repetitive. I know I said that Msdossary has tried that a few times now, but he has gone down different avenues and then come back to that. You see the power of it.
One thing to note there, is I think Msdossary was kind of flirting with the idea of bringing on Team of the Year Kante into that central defensive midfield role, and maybe that shows he's kind of caught between two minds here. Do I try and shut up shop? Do I try and see this game out? Or am I going to go for blood here and try and find a third and really put this game to bed?
He's also probably looking at the clock and saying, 60th minute, do I need to be making too many personnel changes? Maybe I should have another look a little bit later on.
Well, Ollelito, straight from the kickoff here, he's putting pressure on. Arnine got a bit fortunate to keep hold of that ball. Johan Cruyff somehow been fouled. Oh, the post, second opportunity, and Sadio Mane. Oh dear, oh dear.
Ollelito can only crack out a small grin as he's come so close there to equalising.
He's got to score. I'm sorry, I think he's got to score in that position.
But I mean, what else could he have done? Mane's got to score, but Ollelito has pressed the shoot button. I mean, maybe when you look back at the replay, there may have been too much power applied or something like that, but you'd have to think the muscle memory of all these players should be at its best. And with how Ollelito's been playing, he's going to feel hard done by, but there's still time.
Cristiano Ronaldo has just bullied two centre-backs off the ball there. And he has to be careful here, Ollelito. Such a dangerous game. He has to play, has to go forward, has to look for an equaliser. But that just invites Msdossary in. And that's where he's so dangerous. Let's remind ourselves as well that Ollelito has come from behind already once in this game. The question is, can our Atlanta champion do it once more?
I think he definitely can. I mean, he's creating the opportunities. He just needs to make sure he doesn't concede another.
Well, here's Messi. Here's the ball inside. It just landed between two strikers in the box there. Again, maybe feels a little bit hard done by Msdossary that he didn't find a body. With 15 minutes left in this game. In our quarter-final, a master spot on the line. A spot in the semi-finals on the line. And maybe it's going to be Mbappe who can put the game to bed, but now there's a breakaway for Ollelito.
I think Ollelito just needs to stay calm and kind of say to himself, look, I'd probably be 2-2 here if it was anyone else but Mane. Fairly certain Mane took it on his left foot, so it would have been his weak foot as well. It's not like you've got an R9 there or a Cruyff, someone who has that five-star weak foot, that ability to hit it on either side. There's always going to be that element of error.
Cristiano Ronaldo then with space. Maldini gets across, but the ball just falls to Kylian Mbappe now, twisting, turning, finding Ronaldo! And Msdossary surely has put this game to bed.
Signed and delivered by Cristiano Ronaldo. Again, just great work with Mbappe. Ollelito was expecting the drag back. He was going to the other side of him, but just close dribbling from Mbappe just to turn around and wait for Cristiano Ronaldo to get in a position where he can slot that one home. And from Ollelito coming so close, hitting the post and then sending one just over the bar. It's going to all be for nothing now because he needs 2 goals in 10 minutes.
And Msdossary, once again, shows us just what a figure he is in the competitive FIFA scene. Another semi-final on the horizon here, unless Ollelito can answer back here. Still time on the clock from the restart. Cristiano Ronaldo has made this one very interesting.
And I was already starting to cross off Ollelito's name from my list of previous champions who were at this tournament and have been eliminated, but maybe there is something else just yet. Straight into the pause menu, and again, more changes can be made. As you said, maybe Msdossary can start to look at trying to shut up shop for real now. But Dull and Mike out of the competition. Razek out of the competition. Rocky as well. Leaving us with Msdossary, Tex and Ollelito, but of course only one from Msdossary and Ollelito can go through. How many times have we been in a tournament where Msdossary and Tex are left and we say, oh well, we'd expect them to pick it up again? Or are we going to get another outsider? Are we going to get a 7th name on that trophy?
And now you are seeing the change to the 4-5-1. 3 central defensive midfielders in place here as an option for Msdossary just to close this game out. All he's going to want to do right now is keep hold of this football. Do not let Ollelito even have a sniff of moving forward and picking up possession and creating a chance, because we all know what can happen in FIFA. It only takes one chance.
Remember, the winner of this game guarantees himself into FUT Champions Cup Stage 5 as well. The loser will have to go through the same qualification process as everyone else. Meaning if you're at home and you're waiting to play in that qualifier, You're probably thinking, who would I rather have in the mix, Ollelito or Msdossary? To be honest, with how they're playing, I'd rather neither.
Just a few minutes left then for Msdossary to see this game out. He has possession. And with the wealth of experience that he has on his side, for a man so young in years, you would be incredibly surprised to see him make a mistake here.
The referee has indicated there will be a minimum of 2 minutes.
Well, there is possession for Ollelito, and that is his final chance. Has to get up the pitch quickly. And that's not going to be enough.
The left foot of Mane again that lets him down. Couldn't find the ball that was needed, and Msdossary, the Tundra man, keeps on rolling here in Paris. Yet to impress us this year, but goes from strength to strength. And now he really is starting to step his game up.
Yet another final for Msdossary, which means, well, good news for Msdossary fans. We will see him again at Foot Champions Cup Stage 5. He will play Mino in the semi-final as well for a spot in the console final. And I tell you what, that is shaping up to be a pretty juicy affair. Of course, we've still got plenty more action here to come here in Paris. I mean, we've got all of the quarterfinals on stream today, so don't worry if your favorite player hasn't played just yet. They will be on at some point today.
Yeah, Msdossary just reminding us all of how good a FIFA player he is. It doesn't matter the title at this point. You can always expect this time of year, about halfway through the season, you start to see prime Msdossary, and we really are starting to see examples of it now. Once he's got used to that meta game, once he's found the players that he likes playing with, once he's got used to the competition as well, is a huge factor, I think, for Msdossary. Really does do his research and, you know, go away and see who he's playing against. This is what you expect. You expect semi-finals, you expect finals, and if history has anything to tell us, you can expect a championship at some point as well.
And I think Ollelito's going home and selling Sadio Mane as quick as possible. He's probably on his phone already on the app, just making sure he gets rid of him on his team, because it's let him down, hasn't he? When we look back on it, it was his left foot. The second attempt, at least, anyway. But the first one hitting the post, I mean, he was that close from this going potentially to extra time.
Yeah, very, very close. Small margins, but the man who does go through is now down on the floor with Gillian. It's Msdossary.
Msdossary, you take down the defending champion, Ollelito. How satisfied are you with your performance there?
I'm really happy about my whole performance, the whole tournament. Today was a good day for me. I really played well. I won against Diogo and then against Ollelito, and both of them are really top players. They were the console final in the last event. But yeah, back-to-back top 4. Now we're pushing for the trophy. But I just have one thing, that if we speak, we don't listen to anyone. So I know there is too much blah, blah, blah every time about me. But I hope, guys, you learn, because I'm never going to be in.
Words of wisdom from Msdossary. I love that. Now, you're going to be going up against Mino next. What do you know about him?
He's a great friend of mine. I played him just a friendly wise, and I played him in the last couple of years. But yeah, tomorrow's a new day. If I continue with the new form, I think I can bring the whole thing down.
So many people are happy that they'll get to see more Msdossary here from Paris. What's your message for the people back at home? Arabic or English, whatever you want.
I'll do in Arabic. Thanks. شكرا لدعمكم الرهيب. وإن شاء الله بكرة يوم كبير. بكرة نصف نهائي ونهائي. مبسوط جدا من مستواي. وإن شاء الله يا رب بكرة نفرحكم بالكاس, لأن عارف أن هذا هو الشيء الوحيد اللي يرضيكم.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Okay, more to come here from Stage 4 in Paris after the break.